Well, we have a doubleheader for you this weekend, and we start in Chicago, where it has grown quite a bit since last season. And we are going to go to the goaltender of the Chicago Raiders. It is Bill Jacques. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's start off with how your division has been going. We saw you last season, and there was only 4 teams. So what was it like playing in one of the smaller divisions?
You got really familiar really quick with guys we've been playing with and against for years, and then incorporating some of the newer guys into the mix was pretty fun. But when you only have 4 teams, it seems like you're playing the same guys pretty often. It was fun. It was a great experience. The whole NBHL is just a wonderful experience. I just wish I was a little younger, could experience it 20 years ago. But, you know, it is what it is.
Well, you did perform pretty well last season. Your main rival was the Southsiders, and you two were just going at it for that top spot. Unfortunately, they did edge you out during the playoffs. So what makes the Southsiders such a difficult team to play with?
So they have a lot of youth on their side, which is great for the big rink. A lot of skill level, really, really good guys. They're just tough to play against. They cycle the puck well. They always seem to get the open man, and they have a ton of skill, So they're a real hard team to defend.
So for those who are not familiar with the Chicago division, last season we had 4 teams. We've had a couple of additions. The Dolphins are still around somewhat, but they have changed their name to the Hornets, as well as some movements from some of the Dolphins players. They have moved over to the Southside Stingrays, and we also have a new team in the Palatine Union, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So with the addition of another team, does that make it more competitive?
Yes. So the Stingrays and the old Dolphins, there's so much youth there and so many players that want to get involved that they kind of split up and into 2 teams, which makes it really nice for our league that we have 6. So we're growing from last year, but it's just another competitive team. Really, really good kids, a lot of youth, good shots, good movement. So it makes the league a lot stronger.
And with that, you are facing the Southside Stingrays this weekend. So you are somewhat familiar. It is a mostly new team, but there are a few Dolphins players that have come over. So when you're facing a team that is mostly new faces, does that put a new spin as to how you approach it?
Sure. It's going to be a faster team. So what we have to do is we have a lot of veterans on our team. The Raiders are a veteran team. We did infuse some younger guys in there, but we're just going to have to keep them in front of us and kind of hold on to the puck as much as possible. Possession time will be really important in that game because of their speed.
And you did face the Palatine Union, a brand new team. You had a mercy rule win, 8-0. To be fair to them, they are a very new team, so they're just getting their feet in the water. But with the new, you've been facing the new teams early. You've yet to face the Southsiders, which will occur, I believe it's the following week. So how do you see yourselves ranking compared to some of the new teams?
So I believe with our experience, and if we play the game the proper way, we can compete with anybody, including the Southsiders. They're a really great team. The younger teams are good as well. But when we play our style, puck possession, lots of shots, lots of rebounds, we do have an opportunity to compete with everybody in that league.
So let's step away from the division for a moment and talk about the new rink that you're in. So last year you were at the at an outdoor rink, which you all had to share one door, but now you're in Salt Creek, which is an indoor rink, and it looks like it's a big upgrade compared to what you had last season. So what's it like playing at this new rink?
So we play our league games at that rink on Monday and Wednesday nights. So we're all of us are very familiar. We enjoy it because it's a great rink. Frank Klein has done a great job in organizing this for us, and as well as the tournaments as well. So we've had tournaments there as well. So we're real familiar with it. I love it because, obviously the controlled environment, not playing hockey in 90-degree weather when it comes to June and July. It really, really, really is a good thing, and it makes it more fun for everybody. We got a little bar area in the back where guys can watch while the game's going on. So it makes for a fun day.
Now, compared to the outdoor rink, so when you were playing outdoors, how did you adjust basing on the weather, like temperature, wind?
How I adjusted is obviously the day before you have to drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself. You're dealing with the elements, the sun, the heat. I have two sets of equipment. Sometimes I use other equipment to kind of help out with it. But it's, the elements are the elements. Both teams are involved in it. As an older person, it's a little more difficult for recovery time and preparation beforehand. So the day before, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself and get ready for the game. So.
Yeah, I've visited Chicago a few times before, but I've only visited during the winter, during the very cold months. So, how big of a difference is it during the summer? How hot are we talking here?
We're talking about 90 degrees plus, humidity's real high, so it gets to be a little bit dangerous at times, I would say, in midsummer. We have some beautiful summer days where it's 70 degrees and low humidity, but those are fewer and far between. When it's really hot, it gets really, really warm in Chicago.
So you mentioned that you have your own league games at the Salt Creek Rink. So how many players in the area come to this? Not just NBHL players, but the entire Chicago area.
So our rink is centrally located off major expressways, so people can get from downtown and from the suburban areas. So we get a lot of people from different places coming there. We normally have 6 teams, 15 players per team. We used to have a Wednesday league as well. We use that more for practice time for tournaments. So we'll get anywhere between, for that practice, about 30 to 35 players. And our Monday league is 6 teams strong. So there's, 12 to 15 players per team, 6 teams. So it's a building block. We're seeing a lot more youth infused in it. Some of the younger guys are coming around and they're bringing their buddies. For a while, it was a lot of veteran guys, and we weren't sure, how it would turn out, in the future. But we Frank and a lot of guys around our area, Lou Mangini, Jeremy Worgan, these are guys that have helped build our leagues and help run our leagues.
You mentioned that this rink is located by an expressway. Now, I'm not entirely familiar with it, but I do know of one expressway. Now, if I'm right, that's where one of the L lines go through. Is that the one that you're talking about, or is there a different one?
So the L lines go through the city and all the way through the suburbs. There is an L line that, a train that goes through Arlington Heights area, Palatine area, where there are people that can come from downtown and take the train and come to the rink. Yes.
Yeah, because the one I was thinking of was the red line. Is that the correct one?
Yeah, there's a red line and a blue line. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, because I've rode the blue line before. All right, so let's get back into your league. Let's talk about your team for a minute. Already, there's some numbers that jump out at me. John Kelly, who's been great. He has 3 goals already, 1 assist. You got Justin Gerlinski. He has 2 goals and assist. So already, it's like that you haven't left the rink since last season. So how you feeling so far?
Well, our team is a really good team. Mr. John Kelly is an excellent defenseman. He is really smart, nice shot, good passer, always keeps his head up. He's definitely an A type of player. Justin, I played with for years. He's coming off an ACL injury where a couple years ago he actually tore his ACL and is coming back strong. He's a younger guy, can play well. He's gritty in front and seems to be in the right place at the right time a lot. So we do have a really nice team. We're gonna have a say in possibly who wins this thing.
Yeah, and again, it is worth noting that the game was against the Union, which again, to be fair, they're a new team, but also what stands out is that you haven't not to jinx you, but you haven't let a goal in yet, but you have had a history of having a great save percentage. So you mentioned your age. I mean, I just talked to a different person from the New England division, and he's up there in age. He prefers the stand-up style. Are you still in that? Are you still in that age where you can still do the butterfly, or are you kind of transitioning?
I still can do the butterfly, not as much as I used to. Positioning is everything for me. As I get older, I've learned that my positioning is the most important part of my game. Tracking pucks, balls are real important. Being on top of my crease is really important. Being a lot calmer than I used to is really important. It's the mental part of the game is, when I was younger, was a lot more difficult for me because I'm a fiery type of guy, but I rely mostly on my position and being familiar with a lot of the players that I play against as well too. So,
yeah, as a fellow goaltender, I definitely agree with you. I do agree that the positioning is the key to being a successful goaltender. You have to keep shifting around, just following the ball and just staying through it the whole time. So with when you mentioned that that's a big teaching point for those who want to be a goalie in the league.
Yes, absolutely. Goaltending is hard sometimes because you're the last line of defense. You can either look really good or really bad, and there are some really skilled players that we play against, and if you're not on top of your game, they can embarrass you. So it's one of those positions where you can be the hero or you can be the GOAT. And it's why I love the position. It's a thinking man's position as well as an athletic position. There's so many facets of it that go into it, but it's very fun to be back there and try to stop some of these really good hockey players. So just a fun time.
And with that said, so you came up short into the playoffs last season. You're looking to try to make it to the Miley Cup this time. So what is it that your team needs to get you that push?
I would say we need to start quickly in games, and we need to possess the puck more than the other team. We're at our best when we are forcing the issue, when we are possessing the puck, because a team like the Southsiders and some of those younger teams, when they have the ball, their transition and their cycling really sometimes give us some issues. But when we're possessing the puck more and being the aggressor, we do have a chance. We have some really skilled players, John Kelly, Frank Klein, Fred Coletta, We have a lot of great players on our team. Miles Silverne, Shane Yulee. I mean, these guys, Chris Bauer. I can name just to name a few. Chris Frederick. There's a lot of guys on our team that can play the game, but puck possession is the most important part for us.
And there's also I need to mention this. Whoever makes it into the Mile Cup, and of course you're hoping that your team does. There's a lot more competition this year. Buffalo now has a tier 2. We now have Florida in tier 2.
Wow.
Massachusetts is now in tier 2. So you got a lot more competition this year. So are you paying attention to everyone else?
We only played one game, so I really haven't. But being familiar with playing against East Coast teams, we go to some of the Jason Kelly tournaments, and there's always great competition out there. Those guys are great hockey players. So it's always a step up in level for us. I know personally, for me, it's a proving ground every time we play against those guys because they have great leagues and they have more teams and a lot of skill. So I'm going to start paying attention to it, and I really like to focus on us first because it's such a difficult league that we're in with the Southsiders and the Stingrays and everybody else who's in our the BH Kings. I mean, there's some great players out there and there's some good teams. So early on, I don't like to put the cart before the horse, they say, Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you want to focus on your division first because there can only be one team out of tier 2 that can go to the Mile Cup, and you have to take on everyone there before you take on the big guys. And we will definitely see with that. So thank you for joining us here, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thanks. I appreciate